Welcome to a special interview on Bahrain International here at the BIDEC exhibition here at the Bahrain Exhibition Center. With us today, I have two guests, Rear Admiral Simon Williams, who is the chairman of the Clarion Defense and Security Organ, and they're also the organizers of BIDEC this year, as well as Mr. Rob Dooley, who is International Business Development Head at Lockheed Martin and an exhibitor at the exhibition. Thank you for being with us today. I'm just going to start off with the organizers, then go to the exhibition. When it comes to organizing an event such as BIDEC, this is the second time, and we've seen the success 2 years back, and this year it's on a larger, more intense scale. What can you tell us about what is different this time?
Well, we're in hard numbers. We're about 10% plus bigger. And that is quite significant growth on a second edition. The most important thing is that actually we continue to bring in the key exhibitors who are the main defense suppliers. Mm-hmm. And then with them are a whole host of smaller companies and a lot of new technology companies who surround and are part of the defense industry. Because this business is different to many other businesses in that the only customer that defense has are nation states, our countries. We don't deal with individual organizations or entities. Mm-hmm. So actually the number of customers globally is actually set. It's set by the members of the United Nations at 192. So we actually don't have that many customers in the world that we're all dealing with. And the business that we're dealing with is of course very serious, which is why these events are run as closed events, not public events. And they're run for the industry to meet with their defense customer, for the defense customer to meet the industry. Yeah,
I mean, that's a good point, but if we look at it from an exhibitor's point of view, it's also a place to really forward one's imagination when it comes to new products and coming up with new things and things that are needed futuristically with the growth of technology. So as an exhibitor, Mr. Dooley, can you tell me what the difference is from a few years back till now, from an exhibitor's point of view?
Well, first you have the improvements in technology in the products that we offer. And as that advances forward, bringing awareness to the defense and security persons or personnel out executing missions, as that technology becomes more advanced, trying to explain it becomes, or can become more difficult, unless you use technology to help tell the story. So as we look at the F-16 with something called AESA, electrically scanned array radar, I can wave my hands back and forth and try and do that, or I can go over to an interactive display, pull it up, spin it around, talk it, and help explain to potential users or people that may, sometimes the challenge is for a country, what do I ask for? Well, how do you know what to ask for unless you know what's out there? It's kind of like a chicken and egg. So part of here, what we look to do is expose potential customers to here's technology that we have today, here's technology that's coming down the pike. But what's different from years past is how do we use the space efficiently? How do we tell the story of all the different weapon systems?
Exactly. Well, Admiral, one of the things that, as Mr. Dooley said, having that opportunity to visualize these products and see them in action is one of the things that BIDEC has done before, and now they're doing it on a bigger scale because we have some off-site areas where a lot of companies are displaying their products. Can you tell us about those?
Well, we have there are ships in Mina Salman in the port, and they're all part of the defence exhibition, and they provide, of course, an ideal platform for naval industry to show its technology in its native home, i.e., on board a ship. There's a range where actually those who wish to see small arms in action and trial them, they can actually do that in a closed and safe environment. And again, there are some other aerial training grounds for parachutists, etc. So this is an event that covers the full spectrum of defence, which is actually a very large spectrum now. And as Bob correctly said, it's defence and security.
Exactly.
And that is that's a continuum now. We can't separate the two. So actually, this is an extraordinarily rich environment for technology. It used to be that defense led all technology. It's now, in many cases, that defense technology actually takes from the civil sector and repurposes those technologies, which would otherwise not be available.
Exactly.
So this kind of mixed environment is really important for the industry, and perhaps the most important thing is just meeting people. So although we tend to focus on the technology, it's actually humans that do business.
Yes, true.
It's humans that do business with humans.
Exactly.
And therefore, in this, which is actually a very strange business in some ways to people who are not familiar with it, because much of what countries do, they keep in their defense and security sphere, they keep secret.
Yeah. True.
Many of the technologies that Bob will be working on will be classified.
Of course.
But actually, what you have to do is break down those barriers, because otherwise, how on earth do you do business?
Exactly.
And you create an environment. These kind of exhibitions are a safe environment in which the specialists who are properly accredited can do their business.
Yes. Well, as you said, when it comes to visualizing these products, it also depends on the country or the client that you're doing business with at that point. And an atmosphere such as BIDEC, being in a GCC country such as Bahrain on an island, everything is really cozy and close to each other, and a lot of things can be seen at the, a lot of clients at the same time can be available in the space. Do you find that that makes business transactions easier, or even getting to know clients in different terrains?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question, because just my experience this morning, I probably had 3 of the most valuable meetings I've had.
Yeah. Wow.
With customers, because we go right to the leadership.
Yeah.
And we can have frank discussions and really get a sense of what do they want, you know, straight from the top.
Yeah.
So there's the, and a lot of people question that about air shows and defense expositions.
Yeah.
Really, you know, is it really worth the value? Because it is.
It is.
We're using resources to come here.
Yes.
But there's that intangible of, you do get the personal interaction. My leadership gets to meet leadership all in one fell swoop. We can engage multiple countries. So that's where a true value of an event like this falls.
Well, Lockheed Martin is a company that's been, let's say, in the business, in the military business and safety for ages. But how is this year? How is this year different for them here in BIDEC at the GCC, in the GCC area specifically? What is Lockheed presenting?
Well, to let you know, I work for the aeronautics side of it, so airplanes. And we have the launch customer for our most modern F-16 that's going into production. It's Block 70, and Bahrain's the launch customer.
Yes.
So we get to support, because this is in support of the customer, because what we do here and stuff not only works with other countries, but we're supporting the Bahraini customer by being here. So it is kind of special that we can brush up against them, help support their program, but then also it's the engagement. We get to see the leadership. There are a lot of other people working to make that program a success, but here you get the undiluted, unfiltered opinions of the leadership from both sides, which is really very valuable.
Wow. Before I close the segment, Admiral, I want to ask, when it comes to BIDEC's exhibitions and foot traffic, how until now, I mean, it's only the first day, but you can have like an overtake on how things are going to go. Do you have any presumptions?
You can generally judge the success of an event by the background noise.
Yeah.
If it's quiet because there aren't enough people in the hall.
Yeah.
And you can also tell if there's, people use the phrase there's energy in the room. Well, actually you can tell if there's energy in the room, because there's a way that conversations are had. If they're animated conversations, if people are interested and people are obviously doing business, as opposed to just drifting around, there is a difference. And this morning, because we can only really talk about this morning, but there's definitely energy in the room. There's definitely interest. And that makes a massive difference, because it's all about perception. Again, we're all human, we're humans, and we work on perceptions. And our perception is that, yes, this is on the same trajectory as we were 2 years ago, and that trajectory is ever upward. So we had about 9,000 people through BIDEC last time, and we're expecting more. But we won't know the final numbers, obviously, until we've closed the doors 2 days hence. But it's growing.
But you do have the numbers when it comes to exhibitors. Are there more than there were before?
Yes, there are. And that's always healthy. And what's more healthy is that actually the key exhibitors that we would see as vital to any event such as this, such as Lockheed Martin, the main defence prime contractors, because actually they are the backbone of this industry. They're here, and they're here in sufficient numbers to actually add strength to the industry.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for answering our questions and being with us today. I'll be back with another guest in just a bit. Thank you. us here in the studio is Mr. Scott McGowan. He is the VP and Program Director of the H1 program at Bell. Sir, you're also, or Bell specifically, is also the platinum sponsor this year of BIDEC, which is a really big deal when it comes to when you actually are at the exhibition. You see the magnitude of this. You see how important really it is for big companies such as Bell to have their name up there and to be sponsoring this event. What can you tell us about the sponsorship?
Well, we came back in 2017, the first BIDEC, and we were very impressed with the show. Bahrain Air Force was interested in some of our helicopters for a foreign military sale. So we've been supporting the show, and we were, like I said, very impressed in 2017, came back this year. We weren't a platinum sponsor of the first show, came back this year and decided to be a platinum sponsor, and we're very proud to be one.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, one of the things, or one of the products that Bell has developed is the AH-1Z, and it's one of the best helicopters out there. What can you tell us about them and details about the product itself?
Well, the AH-1Z is an attack helicopter. It's operated by the United States Marine Corps. They've been taking delivery of the aircraft since 2012. We've had a lot of international interest. Bahrain has shown interest for many years. It takes a long time to develop a foreign military case, and just last year they signed an LOA to purchase 12 aircraft. And so we're here this year as part of the show to also talk with them about their requirements and make sure all their requirements get rolled into the helicopters they want.
Well, we had Mr. or Admiral Simon Williams on the show a moment ago, and one of the things that we know for a fact now is that the exhibition is 10% larger than it was in 2017. Do you find that important, especially for an island within the GCC territories?
Yes, we've noticed the growth this year, very pleased with that. We've already had many delegations from countries in the area come through our booth and talk to us, and it's a real good chance for us to hear, not only for us to show them our technology, but to hear from them of what they need, what their requirements are, and get us thinking either to tailor our technology or to come up with something new for them.
Yes. When it comes to technologies, not just in the way things are exhibited, but also technologies within the defense and the military systems, how are you guys like cooperating or incorporating technology into your displays and so on?
Well, you try to bring your new stuff. We partner with there's a lot of companies we partner with as we put together the AH-1Z. There's a lot of other companies involved in that. We work with them, use their technologies, roll it in, and sometimes we partner with them and they show some of their stuff in the same booth with us. Sometimes we'll partner with them. We have one of the weapon systems in our booth now from one of our industry partners. So there's a lot of a crosstalk between industry partners.
While talking to some of the other exhibitors, I always find that they repeat themselves that at exhibitions such as BIDEC, the clientele is known. There are 192 countries of the United Nations, so you don't really go out and look for people. Your people are known and your clients are known. Is it the same case when it comes to Bell and these companies?
It is, but a show like this, I mean, it really targets GCC countries and it targets the region. And we don't get that. If we go to a show in Europe, you're not necessarily going to see all the same customers we see here. So we value being in the region, have them, easy travel for them. They're not dealing with time zone changes. Get a lot more time to discuss their requirements and again, showcase our capabilities.
When it comes to other exhibitions, not just BIDEC, being a company that provides aircraft, the Bahrain International Air Show as well as the Dubai International Air Show must be also targets within the region. Is there a difference between exhibiting for those shows and for the BIDEC?
Well, there is a little bit. I mean, so Bell has a military side. I'm part of the military side. We also have a very strong commercial market. And obviously, we have a very strong relationship on the commercial side in this area with all the interest in oil. Over the years, Bell's name is well known. And so we get involved in a lot of shows, a lot of trade shows, a lot of air shows. And basically, you prioritize those shows throughout the year and figure out which ones you want to participate in. And those are two shows that we do.
There are a lot of off-site demonstrations going on. We have a gun range as well as a parachuting range and also a naval range where they're showing off some of the warships that are available. Is it important to go along with an exhibition off-site demonstration? Does it go along? Is it important for it to actually be there?
Yeah, I think that adds real value where people can see the technology in operation. I mean, it goes a long way to understanding what that technology brings, what capability it brings. For us, most of our aircraft are military aircraft, as I said, operated by the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
To get them to involved in a show like this takes a lot of prior coordination.
Yes.
And it's really depending on their deployment schedules if they can participate or not. So we put out the request. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no.
Yes. Well, we're still in the first day of the BIDEC exhibition. We have 2 more days to go, and a lot of more exhibitors showing off their work. But what do you see for the ending here? Do you feel like there are a lot of cooperations and attempts for better cooperations within the countries and the exhibitors?
Oh, very much so. Like I said, we've had a bunch of delegations come through already, had some good discussions with them. Some have already scheduled time tomorrow to come back for more detail. And so, like I said, it's a great opportunity for us to hear from them, see what's working, what they want, what capabilities they're looking for, and we take that back. As Bell's trying, we're really focused on new technologies.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about some of those tomorrow at the conference,
yeah.
and we'll get good feedback from that. I'm sure it will spark some discussion. We're looking forward to that.
Anybody specifically on the conference agenda that you are excited to listen to or to see in specific? Or you'll keep that to yourself?
Yeah, I'm mostly concerned with what I'm going to say tomorrow.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I just want to ask you one last thing. You've been here in 2017 and you're here now. Do you see a difference even in like the capabilities of the country in hosting BIDEC?
Well, like I said, we were very impressed in 2017, but we were really seeing the show is really tightly run. This year's been very, very good. So we're very, very pleased to be a platinum sponsor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Scott McGowan, for being with us today. And we'll see you in another episode tomorrow with the continuation of BIDEC.